If I were to give one piece of advice for becoming a climate advocate, it would be this: join an existing organization fighting for a healthy planet. Why? Well, first off, you might be the exceptional person who is able to inspire hundreds of thousands of others to join a movement like Greta Thunberg or the Ugandan climate activist Vanessa Nakate. But these leaders are few and far between. Luckily, we can still join forces with others and we can still do important work. Second, existing organizations like EarthLife, Africa, Climate Reality, or Friends of Nature in China have volunteers and professionals with science and policy expertise. These volunteers can be mobilized when the opportunity to address a particular climate issue arises. Third, and more personal, joining an organization creates opportunities for making new friends. Together you can form a sense of solidarity, that we are in this crisis together and working together to find our way out. This can help us feel more empowered, less despairing, even happier and more hopeful when we experience setbacks. If you are really limited by time, you may want to write an occasional letter to public officials as your form of advocacy. Still, joining a group can help you be more efficient. Environmental NGOs often post sign-on letters on their websites. They've already researched the topic and written a letter that you just need to sign. If you are a member of Climate Reality or Sierra Club or Climate Action Now, or another group, you will be more likely to learn about opportunities for this quick form of advocacy. If you have more time, you might participate on an NGO committee or in meetings NGOs arrange with public officials. Or you might be able to write letters that others sign on to. So how do you find a group to join? Just to start, ask yourself what roles you want to play in whatever organization you join. I wanted to both contribute my expertise and learn something new. Others may want to meet new people and contribute to the cause, but not have to think a lot about what they are doing. I started my volunteer advocacy with Elders Climate Action, where I served on the Education Committee and helped to organize webinars. Through Elders Climate Action, I met the leaders of Climate Action Now and started writing advocacy letters for others to send. Climate Action Now is an app that makes it super easy to send letters to public officials with just a couple of clicks on your iPhone or Android. Next, I started organizing action parties. These are webinars where participants listen to speakers and then use the app to send letters related to the speaker's topic. At a recent action party on forest policy, I learned that one of our speakers coordinated a national mature and old-growth forest network. I was able to join the network and share my new knowledge on forest policy with Climate Reality. As you can see, in the volunteer world, one opportunity leads to another. If I were living in China, I might start by volunteering for a local beach cleanup, tree planting, or water quality monitoring effort. Organizations conducting such stewardship activities may also engage in advocacy. If my goal is ultimately to influence policy, I would ask about relationships the organization has with government officials and whether it works with other organizations to expand its influence. For example, starting in 2012, Green Zhejiang mobilized citizens to report water pollution data. To gain publicity for its water quality campaign, it partnered with the media, university students, and private businesses to launch the Find the Swimmable Rivers campaign, which challenged local officials to swim in local rivers. Green Zhejiang's efforts aided the provincial government by helping them hold local governments accountable for pollution in their districts. Taking note of Green Zhejiang's efforts, the provincial government declared water governance a high priority. Green Zhejiang, in turn, hosted roundtable discussions for water governance stakeholders, helping local governments to implement water policies that address local citizens' concern. Green Zhejiang demonstrated that civil society organizations can bring people together and work with government officials to leverage policy change. I'll end with tips for pursuing your advocacy strategy. First, don't despair if at first you don't succeed. Most attempts to change policy fail, but failed efforts can build knowledge and forge coalitions that are prepared to act when the next window of opportunity opens. Second, Understand the rules underlying the policy change. In Ithaca, New York, where I live, the city climate plan states that 50% of funds must go to low-income residents. This suggests the city will prioritize efforts like weatherizing low-income housing instead of, say, curbside organic waste pickup. I'm working with students and a city legislator to understand how reducing food waste might fit with existing city policies. 3. Make sure your organization forms coalitions with other organizations. Coalitions are more effective than single organizations, which are more effective than individual citizens. Members of a coalition can use different but complementary approaches, some focused on educating and mobilizing the public, others on lobbying government officials, and still others on bringing lawsuits in the courts. 4th, use small experiments and others' experiences to learn what works. For example, in trying to pressure my local elected representative to institute curbside pickup of food waste in Ithaca, I have shared successful food waste composting programs from other cities. 5th, consider who will oppose you and potential ways to benefit them. 6th, frame the issue. For example, we can frame renewable energy as not only critical to reduce global warming and pollution, but also as a way to save money. Finally, be on the lookout for windows of opportunity. The toxic smog that resulted from China's fast industrial development angered citizens and opened a policy window to demand changes in environmental legislation. Might the devastating wildfires in North America, Europe, and South America offer a similar opening for activists to demand changes in climate policy?